Hey, what's happening to you guys? It's Dream Sonic here and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be me giving you guys another micro edition. This time we're going to be focusing on the lore and story of Tekken. So pretty much if you're new to this series, what I do is I try to bring you guys the lore and story of a particular game in a more digestible manner. So I wouldn't really be expecting a full detailed analysis of a story. This is just going to be for those people who just want to have a fair idea of what they're getting into when they purchase Tekken 7. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So the story begins with the martial art tournament nearing its final stage, with a large pile of prize money for the fighter who can defeat Heihachi Mishami in the final round of the competition. The contest is sponsored by the giant financial group, the Mishami Zaibatsu. The first Tekken tournament began with 8 fighters, but soon on only one warrior emerged victorious with the right to challenge Heihachi Mishami for the King of Iron Fist. This warrior was Kazuya, Heihachi's own son. Now prior to this, Heihachi had previously thrown Kayatsu off a cliff. So Kayatsu has this kind of pent up rage and anger towards his own father. So he joined this tournament in hopes to exact his vengeance upon his father. So after a grueling fight which raged on for hours, Kazuya emerged victorious by utilizing the skills which have been passed down from generation to generation of the Mishima clan. So with Heihachi's defeated by Kazuya's hand, he picked up his father, walked over to the same cliff where his father had left him to die, and just drops him. So with his father gone, the Mishami Zaibatsu is now under Kazuya's leadership, and since then it became even more powerful, reaching to all corners of the world. Soon after his father's apparent death, Kazuya disappears into the shadows, unknown at that point why he did that. Exactly 1 year after the end of the first Tekken, a message is relayed from the Mishima Zaibatsu fortress announcing a second tournament with a prize 1,000 times that of the first prize pool. So with the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2 drawing to a close, Jun Kazama comes to the stunning realization that Kazuya's supernatural strength stems from something called Devil. Several days later, the final challenger arrives to face Kazuya, the organizer of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2. In the end, it was Heihachi who meets Kazuya in battle. Heihachi emerges scarred but victorious to regain control of the immense Mishima's organization. Unaware of Devil's presence, Heihachi casts the lifeless Kazuya into a fiery volcano. As Kazuya's body burns, the Devil appears before the pregnant Jun Kazama in a bid to enter the soul of the new life beaten within her. But in a desperate struggle for the future of her child, Jun defeats the Devil and retires to a desolate Yakushima so that she can raise Kazuya's son, Jin, all alone. Around 15 years have passed and now Jin Kazama is now 15 years old. Under Heihachi's order, the Tekken are evacuating a Central American archaeological site when they discovered a mysterious life form. Heihachi orders the creature captured but loses contact with the Tekken after a garbled radio message, "They are all dead, Toshin." With Heihachi wanting to restore his power back again, he sets out to find Toshin and use the power for himself. Meanwhile, Jun Kazama instinctively picks up on the dark power enriching her life. With no other choice, she tells Jin everything she knows about the haunted past to prepare him for the fateful day she now feels is imminent. She tells Jin to go back to his grandfather Heihachi if anything befalls her. That night, Toshin attacks Jun, and while Toshin and Jun were fighting, Jun looks over to Jin and yells, "Run away," but instead of listening to Jun, Jin opts to face Toshin and ends up getting knocked out. This leads to Jun's death at the hands of Toshin's. Honoring her instruction, Jin goes back to Heihachi and begs to be trained in order to exact revenge. Heihachi, hearing Jin's tale, is convinced that Toshin is after the souls of powerful fighters. To attract Toshin, Heihachi decides to host the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3. Jin, who vanquished the ogre, was shot and mortally wounded by Heihachi. As his life slipped away, Jin transformed into a devil. Upon his transformation, he struck down Heihachi and took flight. Jin's whereabouts were unknown after the tournament. Since then, Heihachi searched for Jin but to no avail. However, Heihachi discovered a photograph during his investigation that stirred his curiosity. He found a 20-year-old photograph with an image of a burnt corpse covered with wounds. Heihachi paid particular attention to the corpse's back, which had what looks like deformed, folding wing-like limbs. Convinced that this picture was Kazuha, his own son who he threw into a volcano 20 years ago, Heihachi devoted all his resources into the search of this body. The search eventually led Heihachi to the G Corporation, a leading-edge biotech firm making unprecedented advances in the field of biogenic research. Heihachi discovered that the G Corporation found the corpse and extracted and analyzed its genetic data. Heihachi learned that the company was in the midst of creating a new life form by using the data. Determined that Kazuha's remains and research data were secured at G Corporation, Nebraska and Nepal research laboratories, he sent out a Tekken force to raid both laboratories in hope to find some answers. The Tekken force raided G Corporation's maximum security research laboratory in Nepal, while the other team, led by Heihachi, infiltrated the underground research facility in Nebraska. As it turns out, it was actually in Nebraska that they discovered Kazuha. Kazuha was resurrected in G Corporation's research facility. After his resurrection, Kazuha offered his body as a research material to determine the true nature of the devil that resides within him. Kazuha's goal was to unify his two cells into one. After Heihachi discovered Kazuha, they both enter into a small spat, with Kazuha ending up fleeing the scene and pretty much Heihachi being left to take out his rage to his own team. 2 years after the third tournament took place, the Mishiba Zaibatsu announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4 and placed a massive financial empire as the top prize. Knowing that this was a trap, Kazuha still entered the tournament in hopes to killing his father. After the conclusion of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4, an intense battle between father and son, Kazuha and Jin, took place at Honmaru in Mishima Zaibatsu headquarters. Jin emerged as the victor and Heihachi turned his back on Kazuha. The battle between Heihachi and Jin began. Filled with anger, his black wind spread and Jin defeated Heihachi with not really relative ease, but he did okay. Just as Heihachi thought he was doomed, Jin regained control of himself and left the battlefield, telling Heihachi that this was due to his mother's will and the way that he was trained under her care. Basically, Jin spared Heihachi because of his mother. Left on the ground in silence, Heihachi was soon distracted or basically interrupted by approaching aircraft. At first, Heihachi suspected that Kazuha was responsible for the intrusion, but he realized that Kazuha was just as bewildered by the sudden attack. The two battle the horse of Jax until Kazuha betrays Heihachi and uses him as a distraction. It was later announced that Heihachi was dead. A month later, it was announced by the Mishima Zaibatsu hold the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. The final battle in that tournament was against the sponsor of the tournament, Jinpachi Mishima and Jin Kazuma. Jin Kazuma came away as the victor in that tournament. Becoming the president of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Jin immediately began various programs within the company and converted the Tekken into a spy project. People began to suspect a darkness in Jin, leading to the increased tension, infighting, and finally a full-scale war. The whole world was drawn in, and when the nation began losing power, Zaibatsu, able to gain profit from the potential of war, announced its independence and declared war on the entire world. With the world now at war, many nations lost their power, and Mishima Zaibatsu declares itself as an independent nation. The Mishima Zaibatsu is intent on conquering the world with only G Corporation to stand in its way. People around the world see G Corporation as a savior, and G Corporation offers a price on Jin Kazuma's head to anyone that can bring him in alive. Just as anyone would expect it, the announcement of the 6th King of Iron Fist tournament was on the way. So basically that's pretty much all the story that's going to be leading up to Tekken 7. Hope this video was very informative to you guys. Make sure to hit that like button, it really does help out a lot. And yeah, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Extreme Sonic, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.